Hi, my name is Mike Arce, CEO of Loud Rumor, an organization that helps fitness studios all over the world grow and be more successful. I'm also the host of Top Fitness Business Podcast, the GSD Show, and your host on this podcast as well. The goal of this podcast is to help you stay informed on some good ideas that your fitness studio can implement to succeed during this pandemic. And in this episode, I want to talk to you about cutting costs. And obviously there's areas where you want to cut costs and there's areas where you don't want to cut costs. And obviously anything that's revenue generating, you do not want to cut costs. So if you got a salesperson that knows how to sell, do not cut costs. If you have marketing that works and it can bring in leads, you do not want to cut costs. If you have any affiliate partnerships where you're working with people and you guys invest in some joint venture stuff that actually brings in leads, do not cut those costs. Anything revenue generating, do not cut costs. Now, for anything that's not revenue generating, that's more of like a bill or like a fixed cost or anything like that, you do want to see if you can cut costs, possibly defer payments, or possibly see if you can ask for some sort of help on that end. So for example, rent is an easy one. Most of you guys probably don't own your buildings. Most of you guys are paying rent to a space, you're leasing a space. And if that's the case, you've got a landlord that you can go up to and communicate with. And right now, depending on the location, there are a lot of landlords that are actually getting some assistance, or there are at least programs out there. Whether or not they're utilizing them or not, that's entirely up to them. But there are programs out there that can help out landlords during current situations, as a lot of businesses are going to have a hard time paying rent right now. With that said, one of the first things you should be doing is going up to your landlord and seeing how you can negotiate your rent. You want to do your very best to be the first one to do this, because if you're the first one to do it, it's not as bad as if you're like the last one to do it and every single person has done their best to negotiate. And now this guy's like freaked out because he's starting to do the numbers and realize how bad it's getting. So be the first one. If you're already too late, be the second, be the third. Just do your best to not be the last person to go ahead and negotiate with him or her, right? And here's the thing, you got to understand you do have some leverage here for a couple reasons. One, they do have the ability to have some assistance, number one. But number two, chances are you are already committed to a long-term contract. You might be in a 5-year, you might even be in a 10-year, depending on the terms that you've agreed on. But you are in a contract where you do have to work with this person for a long, long time. And so they already know that. They've got you in there. It's not like you're month to month and you're looking to cancel, right? With our studios, if we're dealing with that, we get it. But with them, it's a little different. Now, on the next thing, they know that if you can't find a way to generate revenue right now or keep in business, then there's a good chance that you might go bankrupt to the point where now they're not going to get any of their money or a very, very limited amount, right? So that's another thing. The next thing that you want to remember is, let's say you do decide to stop going there, stop working, you go bankrupt, whatever. It's going to take them at least 4 months to refill that space. It's not like they're going to go, okay, cool, we'll just replace you tomorrow. They can't just replace you tomorrow. First, they've got to find someone, which right now with what's going on with this COVID-19, I can't imagine how many people are looking to move into a small business retail space right now, unless they have a toilet paper store, maybe. But outside of that, really, what's going to open up there? Massage is suffering, restaurants, anything with food or beverage, any type of service, chiropractor, whatever, nothing's working right. Barbers are closed. So what's going to move in there? So number one, finding a tenant is going to take him months. He's going to have to wait till this pandemic's over, probably to even find a hot prospect. Then on top of that, let's say he does find someone right now, tomorrow, right? He finds someone. It's going to take at least 4 months for him to be able to get some money from that person. They're going to have to do a whole build out, and then he may even have a plan, depending on what he put in place, to not actually collect first month's rent for a couple months after that. Then there's going to be TI work that has to be done, because what are the odds that another fitness studio is going to move in tomorrow, considering nobody can actually do fitness right now? So there's going to have to be a ton of TI work. You have more leverage than this landlord does. And here's the thing, although I do feel bad for the landlord that he's not going to be able to collect rent this month, I feel more bad for the landlord if he can't collect rent in 2 months and on from you because you weren't able to manage your money effectively. Whereas if you were able to do this, things could go on once we resume in 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, or however long you negotiated. Negotiate with everyone you can. If you guys are leasing equipment, find a way to negotiate the equipment company that you're, the leasing company that you're working with, right? If you guys are using any type of technology, I know MindBody is also working with people where you can go ahead and get a free month or get a freeze and still be able to use a software. That's available. So find a way to negotiate with anything that's fixed that isn't revenue generating. Everything that is revenue generating, find a way to put more money into it somehow, because you need to find a way to keep filling the bucket, because it's hard enough to keep members with a good economy. But right now with what's going on, attrition might be very, very difficult. Now, I say that ignorantly. It could be really good because community is something that people really need right now. So there's two sides to that coin. But either way, you're going to want to continue filling your bucket. Regardless of the economy that you're in, you need, as a business, you need to find a way to constantly get more members. So find a way to take money from non-revenue generating activities that are more like fixed costs. If you can negotiate them down or off or deferred, use that money to put back into revenue generating activities so you can continue to generate business and save costs, increase that margin, and increase the life that you have during this situation. Honestly, there's a good chance you might be able to last throughout the entire way, even if it goes 6 to 8 months, if you play your cards right and put your money where it makes money and take your money out of places where you can when possible. All right, guys, thank you so much. Hope that helps. As far as how to approach your landlord, let me actually say that too. It's really good too. How to approach your landlord. You always want to go in with kindness. Don't be a bully. He's going through a hard time too, right? So I get you're going through a hard time, but you're not alone. So don't go in there like a bully. Don't strong arm the guy, especially when you know you have leverage. It's very easy to go in there and strong arm someone. Don't do that. Just go in there and say, hey man, things are pretty tough, huh? Yeah, it's crazy what's happening. Yeah. Well, listen, I want to obviously be a tenant for a very long time. And, I love working with you. I love being a part of, what you're doing here. And this community is fantastic. I'm concerned that if I don't make some really good adjustments, I've got max 2 months before I'm done. I got to close down, bankruptcy, whatever I've got to do. So I don't want that to happen. I'm doing what I know I have to do as a business owner, and I'm finding a way to defer payments and cut costs wherever I can. And you're probably already assuming why I'm here, but I mean, how can we hold off on rent for a few months? Because if we could do that, I have the money that I need to continue running, paying my costs that absolutely have to be paid, and then putting money into the marketing so I can keep generating business during this time. We've created an online option, so we're able to maintain members because of that, which is really good. And also we found a way to generate new business with it, which is really good. But obviously with having a few people pause early on, my marketing dollars kind of got a little lighter than they were. So I want to be able to find a way to keep marketing so I can get people into this online program that already is getting business, retain members with this online program, which people are already excited about. If we can do that, I can make it through this no problem. And within the next few months, I can be back on track. Obviously, I'll be fully honest with you and transparent throughout the whole way. But I need a break here. And I wanted to know, if you were me, how would you ask yourself for this? Say it like that. If you were me, how would you ask yourself for this? Right? And then they'll go from there. So there really is no, script for this kind of stuff, right? I mean, every landlord's a little different. Your relationship with your landlord is a little different. Make sure you have if you don't have a great relationship, you're going to have to do exactly what I did. If you have an amazing relationship, then you can get a little bit more candid and cut right to it. But this is why relationships are so important. But either way, be first as fast as you can. Approach him like your next call right now. Call him or her and work something out. See if you can meet him in person as well. Do your best to not do it over the phone if possible. See if you can actually, with the pandemic, you're going to have to do it over the phone. So do what you can, get this done. You want to increase your margins as much as you can. That means find ways to make more money and find ways to save more money. So that's how you increase your margins. Thanks, guys.